Hi there, Mythfits. Today I'm going to be continuing my series of videos on digging deeper into my story worlds and specifically going to do another deep dive into the Oh My God series. So today I'm going to talk about the Academy, which is the school at the center of the Oh My God series. Are you ready for that? Let's do it. Once I came up with the initial idea for Oh My Gods, which was basically a cross country running California girl ends up at a school for the descendants of the Greek gods. And you can find out exactly how I came up with that idea in my All About Oh My Gods video. But once I came up with that idea, then I knew I had to start building the world that was going to exist around that story. And for me, the world building is one of my favorite parts of the writing process. Because I knew that this was going to be a YA book about the descendants of the Greek gods, I thought it would be really fun to set it at a private boarding school specifically for those descendants. And that is where the Academy comes in. In all of my story worlds, I try to make the fantastical and magical elements of it feel as much a part of our real world as I possibly can. And so when I was looking for some sort of historical reference for schools or education in ancient Greece, I of course came across the idea of Plato's Academy. I will link below to the Wikipedia article about it, but basically, this was a kind of school formed by the philosopher Plato to discuss their ideas of the meaning of life and how society should be run. And in actual history, Plato's Academy was closed for good by the Roman Emperor Justinian in the 6th century. But for my world building, I thought, what if the Greek gods actually wanted to keep that school going because maybe it wasn't only for the ordinary Athenian philosophers to discuss, but maybe it was for their descendants. So Emperor Justinian closed the academy, but the Greek gods decided that it needed to keep going. And I thought, oh, what if they moved it to a tiny Greek island, which I'm going to talk about that island in another video coming up soon. So look forward to that. So basically, I was like, the Greek gods moved Plato's academy to a tiny Greek island and made it the center of learning for their descendants. So that is the academy that Phoebe ends up attending in the Oh My God series. Another thing I think is really interesting in YA books, especially those that take place in a school, is the social politics of the students. I can tell you as a teacher, I found the separation and interaction of different student groups really fascinating and totally beyond my comprehension. I remember when I was in school that it was just kind of understood who was in what group, but as a teacher looking in from the outside, it was really hard to figure out why a student or a group of students were in the groups that they were. It just didn't make sense to me. Um, but back to the academy, I thought since these students are all descendants of the Greek gods, then it could be fun if those social groups and the cliques that evolved there were actually based on the gods themselves. So the cliques and alliances that you see at the academy are mostly based on the god which the students are descended from. And I basically defined these social groups based on the domain or the symbolism of that ancestor god. For example, since Aphrodite is the goddess of love and beauty, which is stereotypically a characteristic we ascribe to cheerleaders in movies and books, especially, so all of the descendants of Aphrodite at the Academy are kind of the cheerleaders or the future supermodels of the world. The descendants of Ares, who is the god of war, are the jocks and athletes because sports, let's be honest, is kind of a mild form of modern warfare. They can be very violent and very competitive. So it only made sense to me that the descendants of Ares would totally be the jocks. Athena's descendants are the brainiacs and the honor roll students, which is totally fitting because she's the goddess of wisdom. The students who are descended from Hades, who's the god of the underworld, are the goths and emo kids who wear black and black lipstick and black eyeliner. And, Zeus and Hera's descendants are like kind of the most powerful and popular students in the school because, of course, they are, because they're descendant from the king and queen of Olympus. So, of course, they are the kings and queens of the academy. It just makes sense. If you want to get a better idea of how these like god to descendant correlations work, then I'll include a link to my character collages for the series so that you can see kind of the image I had, the images that I created to inform me about what each descendants students would look like in the academy. Or you could, read Oh My Gods, and then you would find out firsthand. I had so much fun creating the world of the academy, from creating the gods based social cliques to thinking up what the curriculum would even be at a school for the descendants of the gods to imagining what kind of secrets such an ancient and magical school would hold. If you want an idea of what kind of secrets I'm talking about, then you should read the free short story that I have on my website, which is called Nicole's Labyrinth, and I'll include a link below. But that kind of gives you a sneak peek of just what kind of magical stuff is lurking beneath the surface in the Oh My God series. So, if you've read the Oh My Gods books, I hope you had as much fun with the Academy as I did. And if you haven't read them, what are you waiting for? Who wouldn't want to hang out at a school for the descendants of the gods? Come on. I'm going to be sharing even more about the world of Oh My Gods soon, so stay tuned to those videos. And until next time, stay magical.